The theater was quiet in a way that felt gentle, not empty. Lights rested softly on the wide stage, and the red curtain stood still, as if it were breathing with the room. People shifted in their seats, whispering faded into silence, and the sound of the air felt slow and careful. This was a night filled with waiting. Not the sharp kind of waiting, but the patient kind that comes before something important. From backstage, an 8-year-old Filipino girl stood holding the edge of her simple dress. The fabric was pale blue, clean and neat, pressed by her mother only hours before. Her shoes were small and slightly worn, but polished until they shined under the lights. Her name was Maria. She had practiced saying her name clearly, but right now, she did not need to say anything. She only needed to breathe. Maria's mother knelt in front of her, fixing a loose strand of hair. Her hands moved slowly, carefully, as if time itself had become fragile. "Just sing the way you sing at home," her mother whispered. "Sing the way you sang for your grandmother." Maria nodded. Her eyes were wide, but calm. She remembered her grandmother's small room, the soft hum of the fan, and the way singing made the walls feel warmer. The host announced her name, and the curtain opened. The stage looked larger than Maria imagined. The lights felt like a warm sun on her face. She walked forward with short steps, holding her hands together. The audience smiled politely, not unkind, but unsure. Many had seen children before. Many had heard sweet voices before. They did not know yet that this moment would stay with them. Simon Cowell leaned forward slightly at the judges' table. Howie Mandel tilted his head, curious. They watched Maria stand alone at the center of the stage, her feet barely reaching the markers. The microphone stood tall in front of her, adjusted lower, waiting. Maria spoke softly when asked how she felt. Her accent was gentle, her words careful. She said she was nervous, but happy. She said she was singing for her family, and for her country, and for people who feel lonely. The room listened. Something in her voice asked for kindness without saying it. When the music began, it was quiet. A slow piano, light as falling dust. Maria closed her eyes for a brief moment. She remembered early mornings in the Philippines, when the sky was pink and gold, and her grandmother would hum while cooking rice. She remembered nights when rain tapped on the roof, and singing made the sound less frightening. Her first note floated out, thin but steady. It did not rush. It did not try to impress. It simply existed. The room leaned in without knowing why. The second note came, warmer, fuller. Maria's voice carried a softness that felt honest, like a small hand reaching out. The song was about home. About missing someone. About love that stays even when people are far apart. Maria sang each word clearly, shaping them with care. She did not add extra runs or big movements. She stood still, letting the song do the walking. In the audience, a woman wiped her eyes. She had not planned to cry. She thought of her own daughter, now grown, now living in another state. A man nearby swallowed hard, remembering his mother's voice, long gone, but suddenly close. The music moved slowly, giving space for memories to rise. Simon Cowell felt a familiar tightness in his chest, the kind that surprised him every time. He had heard thousands of singers, but this was different. There was no push, no force, only truth. Howie Mandel's smile faded into something softer. He blinked and laughed quietly at himself, then grew still again. Maria reached the middle of the song, where the melody lifted slightly, like the sun breaking through clouds. Her voice grew stronger, not louder, but deeper. It carried the weight of feelings too big for her small frame. Yet she held them with care, like something precious. This was the gentle twist. People expected sweetness. They did not expect depth. They did not expect an 8-year-old to understand longing. But Maria did. She understood it from watching her parents work far from home. From saying goodbye at airports. From phone calls that ended too soon. The audience no longer shifted or whispered. Even the air seemed to pause. The stage lights reflected in Maria's eyes when she opened them, and they shone like stars over water. She looked forward, not at the judges, not at the crowd, but somewhere beyond, as if singing to someone unseen. The final lines came slowly. Maria let each note settle before moving on. When the song ended, she did not rush away from the silence. She let it stay. For one long breath, the room held together. Then the applause began. It was not explosive at first. It rose gently, like a wave finding its strength. People stood without thinking. Hands clapped, voices cheered, and tears fell freely. America, in that room, felt something shared. Maria smiled, a small, shy smile. She bowed slightly, the way her mother taught her. She looked toward the judge's table, unsure what would happen next. Simon Cowell stood. He did not speak right away. He placed a hand over his mouth, then lowered it. That, he said slowly, was beautiful. His voice was calm, but his eyes were bright. You made us listen. You made us feel. Howie Mandel nodded, pressing a hand to his chest. You reminded us why music matters, he said simply. Maria listened, her heart beating fast but steady. She did not fully understand the weight of their words. She only felt relief, and a quiet joy. When the moment ended, and Maria walked off stage, she ran into her mother's arms. They held each other tightly, not saying anything. They did not need to. The song had already spoken. Later, as the theater slowly emptied, people carried the feeling with them. Some called loved ones. Some sat in their cars a little longer. Some simply breathed, feeling lighter than before. Maria would return to her small routines. School, practice, family dinners. But something had changed. She had shared her voice, and in doing so, had connected hearts across a wide room, across a wide country. The stage lights dimmed. The curtain closed. Yet the song remained, moving softly through America, like a memory that refuses to fade.